Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the first two arcs of the Water 7 saga. Why two arcs, you might ask? That is because the first arc of the Water 7 saga is probably the least liked arc of the entirety of One Piece. Many people just think it's actually filler, but the Long Ring Longland arc is canon, and that's a fact. But if you look at that arc, you can already tell how much it would change without the Straw Hats. So we can look at that once we get into that part. So that is why I'm going to talk about two arcs today. Basically, that's going to be the theme for the entire Water 7 saga, because after the Enies Lobby arc, there's the post-Enies Lobby arc, and while the post-Enies Lobby arc has a lot of things happening, I don't think it's enough to make their own video for every arc of these four here in the Water 7 arc saga. So that's why I decided to put them together in only two videos for the Water 7 saga. And now I would say let's get into the first arc. Part 16, guys. Let's see what we left off last week. Last week we finished off the Skypiea arc, and with that the Skypiea saga or Sky Island saga. And now we are at 69 deaths. Nice. But let's see how that is going to change today. So I would say we can look at the Long Ring Longland arc. Or, I mean, this is for Water 7 arc, Water 7 saga, but first we're going to look at the Long Ring Longland arc, with Foxy and Tonjit in the focus. You might even not remember those guys. Like, Foxy, many people remember because he's that annoying guy with the slow fruit. I still think that his power is really strong, and I'm not sure if we will ever see him again besides like in a movie. And I also need to tell you guys, you know Porsche from his crew? I really like Porsche. She was like, I don't know why, but I really liked her. She was pretty cute. Like, I like the cheerleader aesthetic. And Tonjit is the guy who was standing on like these really high stilts, which Luffy knocked down. So he will never fall down from his stilts because Luffy, Usopp and Chopper will not knock him over. So that means he will just stand there on his stilts and continue to stand up there, eat fruits in the trees, in the long trees. And he will never meet his family again, sadly. And his horse will get captured by the Foxy Pirates probably, but because he's not there, there's nothing he can do about it. So I guess the horse... I'll just say horse. I don't like the... Like... Oda, you're pretty funny, and I don't know if that's actually your doing or something that the people from the translation group did. Why? All the people, all the animals have like very long vocals. And also, something many people forget that actually happened in the Long Ring Longland arc is that we got introduced to the first admiral of the series. We met Aokiji there, and people introduced him as the strongest person in the Marine HQ or something. So that's why there was always this big discussion if Aokiji or Kuzan is stronger than Akainu or Sakazuki, whatever you want to call them. In my opinion, I still think that during this time, like before the time skip, Aokiji might have been stronger. And the fight he lost at Punk Hazard, that might just be because of their elemental difference. I mean, lava against dry ice, that's pretty hard. So we won't get to introduce that character here, and Foxy will just do whatever he wants, because Aokiji was only there because Robin and the Straw Hats were there, and he won't go after some low lives like the Foxy Pirates. And I will never see my Porsche-chan again. But the consequences of this arc are literally none. Nobody cares about that. Maybe they'll get into contact with some other rookie on the Grand Line, but hey, who cares about that stuff? That's not up to me to decide. We don't need to talk about Foxy even more here. And that is why we get into the Water 7 arc now, where I guess the people who are mostly in the focus are Frankie, Iceberg, and CP9. Most of the stuff that happens in this collection of pictures will happen. It's besides the fact that Robin is there, because Robin already died in the Arabasta saga, or especially the Arabasta arc. So she and her knowledge on how to read the poneglyphs is not available anymore for the CP9, and that is why they still want to find more about Pluton and the ancient weapon. And their lead is on that Iceberg might have the information, because Iceberg is one of the apprentices of Tom. And so they infiltrated Galela Works and got all the stuff they needed. And even without the Straw Hats being there and anyone to blame on, they would just get into that place and attack Iceberg to get the information, because they learned through some consequences and some convenient occurrences that Frankie is actually Cutty Flam, like the, so to say, brother of Iceberg or other apprentice of Tom. So they know that either one of those two has the blueprints to Pluton, and Iceberg doesn't have them. So that means they will just kill Iceberg during the infiltration, and that will also kill other people of the Galela Works, which sadly is also Paulie, who I really liked his design of. And when I first watched Water 7, I really wasn't sure who was going to join the Straw Hats. I was thinking like, oh, they're looking for a shipwright, this is the right place for it. And then we got introduced to characters like Iceberg, he could be a shipwright for them. Paulie interacted with them a lot, and he had this funny interaction because he's pretty much the opposite of Sanji, because he can't handle women dressing scampily and he gets embarrassed by that. So that could have been a nice mechanic or like interaction and relationship between those characters. But then we got Frankie instead. And it's not that I don't like Frankie, it's just that I really like Paulie, and that's why I was a bit disappointed. But Frankie is a great character and I really grew to like him. So that means Paulie's dead, Iceberg is dead, and other characters from the Galela Works will also die here. This, in the end, they will just burn down the entirety of the Galela Works headquarters, which will lead to many deaths of unnamed characters and a few named characters. But not all of the named workers are actually inside of there. Like, do I have a name for that guy? There's one guy who works for Galela Company that is, I always mistook for Bruno, because he also had like this one horn outside of his head, which he could press in, and then somewhere else on his head the hair strand, or which looked like the horn would come out again. That guy is going to survive, but I think everybody else is probably going to die here. Then Khalifa, you also look very pretty on tape. CP9 is going to go to Frankie next, because they took care of Iceberg and noticed that he doesn't have the blueprints for Pluton. That means there's only one other chance for them to get Pluton. I mean, there are two, because the second one is actually, they know that Crocodile is after Pluton. He might be in the possession of Pluton already, and that might be a thing where they send CP9, CP0, the Admirals, or whatever into Crocodile's view to try to get Pluton. But as I don't know what Pluton is, and I don't know how strong it actually is, I don't know how the world government would react to Crocodile being possibly in the possession of Pluton. Because if you think about it, the 5 Elder Stars or the Gorose and Imu-sama over them, they might talk about something like, even if we send an admiral or all 3 admirals, Pluton might be too strong and they might get defeated. Is that a thing that could happen? I don't even want to decline that fact. Maybe Pluton is so insanely strong that no character could potentially beat that battleship. So, the CP9 goes to Frankie and is going to try, or is going to capture him. because he can't do anything. He might have his, like, thugs with him, his Frankie family, but they are not strong enough to do anything here. Frankie was able to break through Bruno's tech guy, his iron body, which also is very interesting and brings up another one of my reasons to think that some of the Straw Hats got a bit nerfed, or they just never grew stronger after joining the Straw Hats. Because if you think about it, Chopper was portrayed crazy strong during the Drum Island arc. Robin did some crazy stuff before getting introduced, and then mostly didn't get any fights until later in Wano or something. Frankie was shown to be able to break through Tekai, which Luffy and Zoro couldn't do. Sanji, with all of his spin, could at least, like, get a small break into the Tekai, but Frankie was completely able to break through it. So, was Sanji stronger doing that, or was he just, did he have a stronger firepower and strength during that time as Sanji, as Zoro and Luffy? And was Frankie even stronger than that? Technically speaking, Luffy just got crazy stronger because of his what's the name? Gear 2 and Gear 3 he learned from out of nowhere. He just randomly, Gear 2 he learned because he saw Soru from the CP9 people, and Gear 3 is just a random idea he had, and both of those just got developed in overnight basically, because he got defeated by CP9, CP9 escaped by the train, and they followed with the other train without much time difference. He had a few hours at most to learn how to use Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd. I don't want to go into the deep end, but why I don't like the thing. I just like slow progression, and I thought that power boost for Luffy, while it was needed because they already were quite deep into the first part of the Grand Line, I was thinking that it was just a big jump, and that's also like the big jump we're experiencing in Wano right now. But now let's see. Well, Frankie gets easily captured and gets taken with the CP9 members to Enies lobby, where he will they will try to get the blueprints of Bluetone for him, and maybe even try to make him build it. But as we know, Frankie is very stubborn and won't do anything for that because he won't build that stuff. The Frankie family are there, but they won't be able to do anything. And as I said, even if they don't kill Iceberg and capture him together with Frankie, those two will at the latest die in the Enies lobby arc because they won't hand over the blueprints. So that's why they will probably get killed during the Enies lobby arc, or even before that, if Iceberg didn't even die during the infiltration of his company. That means Frankie will die in Enies lobby for sure, and Iceberg might have already died, or I say Iceberg has already died on Water 7. There's nothing we can change about that. So, did I include something? Oh, I messed something up here, I think. What I want to say about the consequences is, the Frankie family and maybe some of the Galila company that are still alive and not really, like, injured, they might try to, you know, rescue Frankie or Iceberg if he also gets captured, or if they know who it was, they might just do it for revenge or something. But even if the Frankie family and the Galila company together go to the Enies lobby, they have no chance against CP9 or even against all of the Marines stationed there. They will just get arrested or killed over there, and that's basically the end of this arc. Because the death counter, I increased it to 73, with at least the deaths I can confirm being Iceberg, Polly, I think his name is, do I have the pictures ready? Yeah, Tilestone. That's an interesting character, by the way. If you watch One Piece D&D, he reminds me kind of Ragnar. But hey, we don't want to go into deep that. He would be a pretty cool character, and if he wasn't just a one-off character for the Galila company, he could be pretty strong. Oh yeah, I included his death. The pet rat or mouse, Iceberg cat, what is his name? T-Rex, Tyrannosaur. He's also going to die because he's obviously in Iceberg's pocket during the fire. He might be able to escape if you don't want to let a cute animal die, but in my opinion, there's no chance that a rat will escape through the fire if he's on the highest floor and everything, and even if he's still on iceberg. And he liked iceberg, so maybe he wouldn't leave his side, I don't know. Maybe he would become a CP9 agent together with the bird of Lucci, I don't know. And well, iceberg, obviously. Iceberg is dead here, and there's nothing we can do about it. Polly is dead, and we can do nothing about it. Another death, another amount of deaths that nobody could have changed besides the Straw Hats. The Straw Hats saved many lives. They like didn't always do the thing that was good for the world government or whatever, but they saved many lives. If you look at Alabasta, if you look at Skypiea, if you look now at Water 7, they made the world a better place. Even if that wasn't their intention, because they were pirates, they don't want to be heroes, because a hero needs to share his meat. And I would say with that, I can end this video. Thank you for watching, and see you all again next week when we finish off the Water 7 saga together with the Enies Lobby arc and the post Enies Lobby arc.